there was a brief lull in the temperature. So I needed to make the most of the time available, because although it might seem safer to do some construction, it would not always remain so. Better insulation was needed. Yes, that was the reason why I had a bunkhouse built, even though it wasn't needed. So I could move the inhabitants there. So so that I could have another gathering post built around one of the coal pumpers. Because those within the prison would soon be released. I have around 3 days to make things more livable around the bunkhouses, or rather the houses, as they were at this point. Because better insulation meant better insulation meant less heat would be needed. Or rather, it would be less risk towards those living within the city, as cold temperatures would result in a lower immune response. For reasons that eluded me at the time, I wanted to expand the food production farther than it already has. Well, there is still space for expansion. and with 2 cookhouses. The amount of food being gathered is more likely to be used at the same rate as it is cooked. In that case, food will not be a problem for the foreseeable future. Well, that was the theory, at least. Although it would be nice to have some more resource depots. Ah, yes. It's at this point that the houses were researched. Sorry, my mistake. There we go. They were still bunkhouses, although that would change once the redesign was complete. The redesign would allow for more efficient house design, where it would allow the same house, but with less waste. Not that it would be needed, considering the resources available. But still, it's good to have some spare. Well, we needed to make the most of what we had. Speaking of which, the foreman could do with some motivation of the workers around the coal mining and gathering capabilities. Yes. More coal is always welcome. And it was nice to see that the children are getting a decent education. And at this point, the problem with the Londoners has become an issue that is not a concern anymore. Or rather was. As for that resource depot, some more raw food could do with a bit of storing there. That meant more to cook. And at that point I could get started with making houses. As for what to research next, needed to choose wisely. And what I chose... Now this was a hard one. I chose the steam wall drill. As more wood is a good thing to have. Wood is needed to make things, such as, oh, I don't know, houses. Which was something that I would need to make a start on.
Rest time. Work is done for the day.
Oh yes, and the prisoners were released. So I had a little more to work with. Well, I had to have them make a start on upgrading their accommodation. It shouldn't disrupt things too long, or too much. If the houses were built a few at a time. For research. For gathering posts. I already have 4 workshops for research purposes. Not to mention enough child shelters for education and assisting the engineers. Having medical apprentices would have been nice, but in the end, technological advancements in the long run is better. That includes medical technology. Bunkhouses would hopefully become houses by the time the temperature drops again. They would certainly be better insulated. As for the workers and engineers that came out of prison, they were assigned to where I thought they would be most useful. And I can tell you that there would be, well, quite a few research projects that the engineers could work on. Well, the threat of the Londoners had passed by this point, although the question after that would be, what would be next? Well, I will be getting to that. I then knew that this city had a problem. The temperature would drop even less a few days from this point. Let us see. Technologies worth researching. Even better, coal production. That is always good. Although better insulation would also help out. Although it would also be nice if there was better equipment for the engineers to work with. That would allow for even greater advances in technology. Well, that would have to wait until the steam wall drill is researched. That way more wood can be gathered. Not that wood is that much of a problem, considering how affordable it was to upgrade the bunkhouses into houses. Well, certainly with the redesign. Well, there are no other coal mines that can be built. And as for coal thumpers, the steam ones would require 4 gathering posts to make it viable, which would mean at least 20 workers and or engineers gathering coal, if not more. That can't really be afforded at this point. I certainly didn't think so then. Oh yes, and as for the next research project, I need you to think carefully about it. As for what I chose, I was finding it hard to decide. Although, in the end, yes, I chose better heaters, because the cookhouses at this point had not that good insulation. In fact, I can't remember if they ever had that good insulation. medical attention for those that needed it. Well fed enough to sustain themselves in this environment. Education for all the children. I'd say that this city certainly had the potential to be better than London. As if it did have that. All of that. It was mostly the reserve of the rich. Or at least the more well-off.
Rest time. Work is done for the day.
I knew that the coal supply would need to be improved to keep up with the demand for fuel. Although I would first need to have what is needed for that to be researched.